You are listening to Spotlight Sessions with Justin Bamforth. The program provides an inside look at the creative field through exclusive conversations with industry professionals. Every episode is recorded live each month in the Adobe Creative Career Discord. Check out the show links to learn more and join for free, or visit adobediscord.com and click on Adobe Creative Career. This episode was previously recorded before a live listening audience. Winish Chedi is a freelance photographer. He's based in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And he's actually someone that I first met right here in the Adobe Creative Career Discord. Yes, it was through this very free mentorship program that we offer here that I quickly realized, hey, this guy really has a lot of talent. You see, he's what you might call a photo reporter, where he captures the essence of people and their stories all through his camera lens. Now, Winish has traveled all over doing work for various clients, including performers, hospitals, refugee camps, the industrial sector, and much more, along with his own conceptual explorations, flirting along the boundaries of science fiction with his intriguing digital compositions and montages. But what truly makes Winish special? It's not just this incredible detail with how he plays with this light and shadow and color in his portraiture work, but the road he took to get there. It's not quite what you would have expected. But we'll get into all that and more. Winish Chedi, the spotlight is now on you, my friend.
Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful building up, by the way.
No pressure, no pressure. Well, look, let's start there, right? At the very beginning of your creative journey, which wasn't necessarily in the creative field. You were actually in a business school at the time, right?
Yes, but I did went to creative school, photography school, by the way. But I started, and I also finished business school just after secondary school. When I graduated, I actually always wanted to go in the creative field. Back then, even then, your spouse and your families always say, "From hey, how would you live? How would you get money? How would you support yourself?" All that kind of questions in the creative field, which is actually very standard, of course. So I went into the business school, and I was actually very dissatisfied with the place I was in. Actually, I was pretty good at it. Well, the things they teach you, but I just quickly realized at my second internship that I just did not fit in that corporate environment. It was just not really a place for me. It was. Have you seen the movie Office Space?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that was a perfect representation of my work. Yeah, how it was. Yes, it was more like I put myself more on autopilot to get through actually, and at some point I got so burned out by it, and I was at a time, 2013. I decided, I cannot do this anymore. I was so fed up with it. So that's how I ended up in a completely burnout, and I really could not go any further. It was really messed up. Yeah. And then actually in that time, actually got myself back together. Actually, but that gave me some time to reflect. Actually, of how would you like to go further. Much later, I go back to school, a photography school, and because then during that time, I found the courage to go back to do the things I actually really wanted to, and that was actually the create more into the creative fields. Back in the day, I was a friend of mine. It was for a very local newspaper here, like 2-3 regions max, very local. Don't expect any live magazine stuff like that. No. And they said, "Hey, they are looking actually some people. I've someone. Why don't you go ask?" And because it's so small, you can just literally call the editor and said, "Hey, can I meet with you?" And that's how it went down. And they said, "Hey, you know what? I think you got something going there. Why don't you try and do a little for the few months here and there? Let me test you a bit."
Okay, so let me ask you right there. You had already had photography experience prior to this moment, right?
I started. That was a very early age, yeah. And I was actually figuring out actually a lot of things, and then end of 2013, beginning 2014, and because I was still in that burnout transition, but because I was still, yeah, that was actually my way of therapy, to be honest.
Was photography.
Yes, and since he was also a very experienced photographer, he actually also taught me a lot of things. Yeah, of course, the basics. It was not really that good if I'm looking back to it. Again, very early stage, which is excellent, something you could expect. And then also, back in the days, things were not as developed. I mean, digital photography was not as developed as now. I still had that. It was still the first generation of mirrorless I had, and dual core process on a PC. I mean, yeah, pretty outdated stuff for today's standards. And for now, and just when I figured out things, was much later in 2016. That's when I came back to school. Yeah, because then I was finally got out of my burnout phase, and it was it's yeah, it takes a few years of you, so you have to be committed to if you want to go to there. And there was a friend of mine who actually convinced me to go there actually, because was not really wanted to go, because I was like, oh, this again, because I'm had a bad experience, and I'm a little bit older, so I have to stand for the class again, and so but he said, when in the Netherlands, there's a rule of you can try for the first month, and if you decided to leave in the first month, you don't have to pay tuition. So the idea was go and try and find out, but um, do if you're going to do it, just make it work. Make everything you do, make it work. Don't just give up, throw in the towel. Just make it work. If you go for it, be committed.
So at this point, you're going back to school. It's 2016, and you are going for photography. You're going to try it out.
Yes, and that was it. Yeah, and the fun thing, because I was a little bit older, I had and I had an intake with the head of the education program of photography school, and I will never forget that, because it was not that good. He told me, it was like coming to an execution, walking through that door. He said, why do you want to do this? I see you've already got your business school, you got the degree, you already worked, you're a little bit older. Why would you, spend more years with us? I defended myself, of course. Well, hey, this is what I want to do, and etc. And he was not convinced at all. He said, "Well, you know what? I still gonna accept your application, but I would recommend you would find something else." And that was it.
Oh, wow. Not a lot of encouragement.
It actually never should have happened, because I was not interested to go, and they were not interested in me to having it. So it was, both parties were like, nah, this is not happening. But the first month went, and I really saw myself, and oh yeah, I see myself doing it. Yeah, okay, it's starting, and I was very lucky to have three teachers of mine who were pretty from the old school stamp. They actually they really helped me a lot to that period, and because they are very technical skilled, and they are very masterful teachers. I have tremendous amount of respect for them, and they actually guided me through, and they helped me a lot through going through the education, because there was there was like a year gap for me. I mean, most people were in their mid to end teens, yeah, in the end teens, and I was already like 26 ish or something, like.
At what point did you really begin to fall in love with photography? What was that moment for you?
Um, it was the moment. The same friend of mine who recommended me go back to school. There was an burnout period. He was befriended with a photographer who was doing lots of humanitarian work, very social driven. You can think of like Eugene Smith of Life magazine, stuffing in those type, very social driven, very humanitarian focused. He unfortunately he passed away about in the early 90s, but he gave me his book. His a book that he had, and that book basically became my Bible. That photo book that he gave me, that basically became my Bible of photo documentary. And that's how I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I will give everything I have to make this work.
What was the name of that book?
Peter Martins, American Testimony.
American Testimony by who was the author again?
Peter Martins. He did a lot of projects, lots of in foreign fields, also very local. He also and he was also native for my town, especially for my neighborhood, in fact. And he did a lot of uh, humanitarian, yeah, like humanitarian photography. Well, and I know this is not for everyone. I mean, the it can be very confronting for many people because it really shows very layers of society how they function. Sometimes I even go into war zones, which is very extreme, of course, but um, very that type of yeah, very that strong hard contrast and very social driven, and that was actually the moment when okay, yeah, this is what this is it. That book became a Bible.
For those in the audience who may not be familiar with your work, you do a lot of this humanitarian type stuff. You know, you're going on shoots with I think it was UNICEF, right? You were doing a lot of that work.
I did UNICEF, Red Cross, and of course I do some project also some independently, but I think it's important. Yeah, well, it's important to me at least.
Would you say the humanitarian photography that is the core of the work that you do today?
That's actually how I started, and also well, the most important for me actually because um, we see a lot of beautiful technical advancement with AI and the photography. I mean, we have now so many beautiful lenses and gears. It's I don't even know how many pixels we have now these days.
Yeah.
Uh, but sometimes I do think it's yeah, okay, things look beautiful, looks good, but um, sometimes it overshadows the purpose, and that's the human connection, and that's what I'm actually aiming, well, hopefully aiming to do, still do the bridge of, you know, make the connection of for example, the project I did with um, well, the heavy industries, for example, but I'm yeah, isn't photograph the living conditions inside those yeah, difficult work conditions and show these people and this case it's a steel production company, a factory, and it is a pretty dangerous work. Actually, it's very dangerous work. The air is very dangerous. Is breathing is very dangerous there because the air is so polluted. We have to wear special gear, and every time you breathe, I mean, this ash come into your lung, and this actually, and that part that we take for granted because it's steel and we use steel for everything. It shows to the people who actually provide those things for us, who yeah, or work on things we don't see usually, like those old timey mine workers documentary we see. It's like from wow, those people actually make sure we got we got our stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. Let me ask you this then, Winnis. If those working conditions are so intense and dangerous and risky, who hires you and why would they hire you to show that?
Um, well, I'm actually crazy enough to do that myself. Actually,
Oh,
I
no
pitch
kidding.
those ideas. Yeah, actually pitch those ideas. Actually, from hey, this is the idea. This is what I need. This is the stuff I need. What I want to show, and is there also a budget for that? It is do this. There's a before I go into it. But sometimes, for example, when it happened for Red Cross, I mean, in the first early 2022, yeah, when the first waves of the war in Ukraine happened. I mean, things had to be mobilized very quickly, so I just jump in immediately. Of hey, I want to do this. I have to document this. I want to. Can you go? Only thing I need is permission, and that's all I need. And then I just pack my stuff and I just go, because it's just too important to ignore it. It's I know it sounds stupid, but it's also the call of going. And I think it's a very artistic thing to say, to, to answer the call from hey, this is happening. Are you in? We have no idea where this is leading, but it's a trip. But you will not when you come back, you will not be the same person. Are you in? That's basically how it goes.
So the Red Cross reached out to you first when the war in Ukraine was happening, and they said, "Hey, we need a photographer here," or did you approach them?
I pitched it. I did it. I said
You
it. Yeah,
did.
I said I did. Yeah, because it's a very big thing, and again, they have many division, of course, and I did a division in Netherlands, and everyone has their own separate district here and there. So bureaucracy is a thing, and responding time is also a thing, and everyone has also a lot of things happening. So yeah, I just text them, I call them madly.
And they let you go, or was there
Yeah,
resistance?
yeah. Well, there were some resistance here. There were some places, of course. But I had a good friend of mine. He said, "Yeah, you make good. Yeah, this is important, and I like what you're pitching. So I make sure you get the credential. Yeah, make sure you have the paperwork done so you can enter those spaces because you have to actually get permission for government and all other institutions to go there. And when that is cleared, I go in and yeah, and texting, pushing, you have to go.
What were you seeing at the time when you're photographing this?
First observing, yeah. First, what's happening, not just well, of course, everyone has their own thing, theory here, out here and there. But I like to see and think, observe things. Let it, okay, what is happening? What do I see here? What are the people like? What are they wearing? How many people are there? Are they wearing uniforms? Anything. And then you slowly also you have to introduce yourself. Let them know you're not that what your intentions are, because obviously people will see that you are carrying a camera with you, if in wearing a Red Cross shirt or not. But so let them know. Be honest with your intentions. Play open card. That's how I approach things. I don't like doing behind the back. I like to play open cards and let people know from hey, these are my intentions, and I'm not this yeah. So everyone knows what I'm doing here, what I'm doing, and yeah, so they know who I am.
When you're there, you're in Ukraine at this point in time?
Oh, this was the Netherlands. It was the
This is the
Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah, there was still the Netherlands because
Because people are coming over, right?
a lot all over.
So you were photographing the refugees that were coming across the border.
In here, yeah.
When they saw you with the camera, Did you feel like they wanted to be seen, or are they not even focused on you? They're just focusing on just getting
Yeah,
across.
they probably don't focus on me, but they do see me, and you also have to feel it. You know, it's weird, yeah. And this is all, and this is actually my kind of my experience talking, but doing photojournalist, yeah, work back in my internship and traineeship. Ship, you do feel when people, when they see the thing in your hands. Are they feeling it or not? And then sometimes you're like, okay, yeah, I can feel these people not feeling it. So let's try a different thing. What does work? You have maybe you have to little talk to them, make them at ease, do something else, do still try to make make connection with these people, with them, because it's not like I don't believe it's like a one way thing. Like I something of them, I also believe I have to give. It has to be. They also have to know something about me, and yeah.
So on that note, establishing that connection, because I see this on a lot of your street photography, where you're just approaching random people, and sometimes they're homeless people, and you're documenting them. How does that relationship work? What's that conversation like?
I actually did that. I built that relation for a month.
Where you would just get to know people?
Yes, I did that for a few times in a week for a month, more than about a month or so, a little bit more than a month. Spend time just to getting them know, just to see how they, who they are, what the name, what their story is. And not just and hey, this is me. Can I do this? Just build that connection first, because there are people who are you don't know where they come from. You don't know what their background story is, and you don't know what they going through. We all have our stories, and I can completely understand that. So that's why I see try to build that first from hey, that connection with the subjects I'm working on actually. And I'm not doing, and I've also worked that works very good for me, because I also use the same technique with commercial work when I'm doing with for modeling shoots. I also do love to make first the connection with the people who I am photographing. Okay, who are you? What are your interests? What is your background? So we can both have this relationship of making something together, and that's actually for me. I know this everyone has their own thing, but for me this works, and I actually also interested in that stuff. Actually, I usually say from hey, okay, yeah, I'm a photographer. Okay, graduated here, so and so. What I'm actually doing here is I'm dealing with people all the time. All the time I'm dealing with people. And everyone has their own story. Everyone is, I believe, everyone is also unique. And people are also complicated.
With those connections, you said that you're getting to know some of these people for like about a month. What were those conversations like?
I was lucky because for this they were getting at the homeless shelter, which is a church here, and I just and I also contacted with those people of the homeless shelter, and they all know who I am, and of course I show them my work and play open card and hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what my intentions. And they were like, oh yeah, this is well, we would love to have you around, but first, because we are taking with such a vulnerable group of type of people, be cautious to get to know these people know first. And I've also learned a lot, because I know this is also a growing process, not learning. It's things skip. Every situation is different, and they really taught me a really beautiful lesson of taking time of get to know these people, because that was actually one of my first projects actually. We had like a group sessions with everyone with who were in the same situation, and turn by turn we like it was like can I say like primary school. We stand up and then we say who you are and what you do, and that's how actually basically how it started. And as soon as you come more often and people recognize your face and they start more comfortable with you, then you can build on that. It was more slowly building on that.
What's your main goal in photographing these people? Like, what story do you want the audience to know when they see your photographs, when they see your images?
Here with this project, I want to show other people who are virtually invisible, and it's also a growing problem here. And I want to show them that they are also here with us, especially during the and it was all during the winter period. When and the Netherlands can be super freezing cold. They deserve to be seen and to be heard, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I was at in town, and I just walked one of those people from the shelter, and he was super excited to see me actually, and I said, "Wow, great to see you." And he said, "You know what? We are actually so happy that you actually came to us because you are the only person that actually came to us and cared about us and they heard about us." Hearing that actually meant a lot to me, and in the situation that they are in, of he said from and I will never forget this. I said that from you came to here, you have to. That's should be fun. You came here, you have to come here and just claim your spot, plant your flag here, and said, "This is my place, and I will never go away." This is actually learned more from them than they from me. It's actually I that was actually a very interesting project. Yeah, very very touching for me.
Just the fact that you're showing these people, and not just homeless people, but all different types of people. I encourage you in the audience. I posted a link to Winish's Instagram. He posts a lot more of his photos there. And you can just take a look at the breadth of his work and all the different individuals that he's photographed. And most of them, Winish, you don't know personally. You just met them in that moment, right?
I met lots of people in a moment, indeed. Yeah.
Do you maintain those connections after you photograph them, or is that it? Just one moment in time, caught on camera, and then you never see them again?
I actually want to some depends because I'm actually open for that. I see a lot of still people where I still keep connections, but some people are also not interested. It's like, no, it's fine. It's don't worry about it. It's cool. Don't worry. It's this is it. But me personally, I actually love to have people around me for that. Yeah, I love to have also have not just take picture and then that's it, but love to have them. Yeah, keep them in the loop, keep them around. Yeah, I still love a lot, but not everyone, and some people like, nah, it's cool, and I respect that. I can say I can try this much, but if people want to do this, it's perfectly fine.
Some of the people that you meet for the first time on the street, do they end up turning into clients later on? Like where they hire you to do additional projects for them?
This actually happened, actually. Yes. I have actually met person who this was during the lockdown period, and I saw some people just with a couch in the sun during the lockdown period in the sun, just lounging. Just took the couch outside in the streets. Uh, it was like a big sofa. It was like, and I just came from an assignment. I just came back from photographing the new uniform at the from a football club. Yeah, from a sports team. That's it. So I came back from that for the new uniforms from them, and I just coming back home, and I just saw these people, just this for wow, and I thought, hey, that's actually a cool picture actually to have. So I just walked them and asked them, hey, again, where from, hey, what are my intentions? This is my name. This is what I do. Would you mind if I take a picture of you? Because I really love how presenting here, with this couch in the open sun, with a drink in your hand. It looks really out of place, but I absolutely love it. And I said, sure, go for it. And they're actually posing, doing more extravagant things. Turns out he has multiple tattoo shops here and there, and he said, "Hey, actually, I was actually looking for rebranding my tattoo shops here and there. Would you mind doing it for me? this is the budget, and this is the agree. Yeah, this is the guidelines we have. Would you be okay with it? And I was like, and it was during lockdown. I said, sure. It's not like anything else that's going on. Let's go.
Wow. So that developed into an actual project.
That was super random. That was, and I still have contact with those people, wonderful people, and from there I've grow other places. It's go out, not just and also little. I know it's really for introvert as me. Also, I has to find my courage here and there. But I feel a lot of for some reason I feel a lot more encouraged with having a camera in my hands and said, "Hey, would you mind if I do this?"
It's in essence networking what you're doing. You're just networking in a different way, right? On that note with networking, your teacher, when you're back in college, I think, encouraged you to apply for Adobe Talent, I think, right?
Yes.
Which you mentioned to me opened new doors for you. How important has that been for your career?
Oh, wait. Before that, I would like some add up of the following thing. Because of my internship, I was doing a lot of. Because of my internship, I was doing a lot of documentary work for a newspaper and magazine. Everywhere I went, I asked for, hey, do you have LinkedIn? Do you have cards? Just to connect. And that happened for like a year and a half or so, everywhere I go. So, and that's how I actually got in with a lot of projects. For example, the hospital work, and that which became my graduation project because I was there to make a portrait of a few doctors over there. My graduation project was then inside. May I document what you're operating? Inside the hospital, and he was kind of rebellious. It's like he was also a rebellious doctor. It's like, sure, let's go. He was also in for that,
Wow.
and I was very lucky for that. I owe him a lot of a lot. Um,
Yeah, he gave you open access to
he
that.
gave me open access. Yes,
I remember that because you had mentioned to me that you were going in to photograph a hospital, and I said, "Please don't show me those photographs. I
it's
don't want to see that."
I remember that. Yeah, and no, it's not for everyone. Yeah, but that was my graduation project, and my teacher, to answer your question of the opening the doors, I had to say because little background information here, because that project made me realize, yeah, I can do this. It made me believe in myself, and my teacher also told me from apply to Adobe Design Achievement Awards, which I did. Also thanks to her because I was so focused on that project and graduating. I was like, I love that was on my mind. I had no idea that was happening. So she gave it under attention. She helped me also implying it. Well, make a selection here and there, and that's actually and I got in. And that's actually, yeah, it was snowball effect. I was throwing a stupid pitch back in the day for a long time ago, and that ball just kept on, and a year later that ball kept on rolling, and that actually got me into here, but I'm here now today. And I got that also on my resume, so now I actually have some weight when I do the when I pitch the project, for example, with Red Cross or the steel factory of other places, because I have that. You have that background now. You have that experience. People see if, oh, I see you've done that work. So there we go. You have that. That's from that moment. And I graduated in 2019. That made me believe I could do it. And when the whole lockdown happened, I got so much support of the Adobe creative community, especially with Katrina Torrijos, if I pronounce her name correctly.
Yeah, we've had her on the show. Yep.
Lisa Temple.
Lisa's awesome.
Yes, wonder. She is amazing. She actually also helped my morals get high, because because they supported me with the subscription that we all getting, and I was also asked of Lisa if I could do some streaming at Behance back in the day when it was still under beta testing. So and that really got me into new ventures and start growing new things and start trying new areas. And that's actually which is some stuff you see on my stuff on this website. It's actually because I developed new things because I could not get any other projects going on, so I got new things. So I developed new things here and there, and especially into studio portraits and yeah, heavy editing. And suddenly, you also have those skilled technique. You have it on your knee. So you don't have to hire a second person to do that for you. You can do it by yourself. And also, it also enrich your vision. I mean, now I just take photograph of when I'm people, and I thought, funny, well, I can edit this way. I would think, I would love, it would look amazing. So you have because you can see what's how can I say, you shoot the image, and you only know how it looks like through editing. So you already have like an way how it already the final product how it looks like. Stop and things like that. Because of the whole lockdown period, I went deeper into that in that rabbit hole. To be honest, yeah,
In the photo editing and the software and
yeah,
stuff.
big time, yeah.
Let's get into some of that because you have a lot of strong conceptual work. You have a lot of strong ideas in these photo montages that's very heavily influenced by sci-fi.
Yes, yeah. It is, yeah. That's how it started, and then later also because I am a big music lover, and back in the day, um, growing up, I was obsessed with, well, obsessed is a big word, but I was crazy about album covers, and especially how funkier the cover was with colors and composition, and it was also and it's a square, so that was the frame. Now we can have all of the shape we want, but that yeah that always stayed with me. Those crazy album covers for obviously it's science fiction work because looking at science fiction of course, but reading novels here and there, but that's and having the time during the lockdown really gave me some I did not binge watch every Netflix thing. I spent my time in this. So that's how I many try and errors and figuring out stuff. That's actually how I went into it. Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Looking ahead, because you've got a lot of plans. You're involved with a lot of projects, but what are your future plans and your aspirations as a photographer? Are there any specific projects or directions you're excited about?
Yes. Yes. I'm very lucky I'm doing able to stay alive with my idea was also doing one thing, commercial work to keep myself alive, paying the bills and stuff and all that stuff, and doing groceries, which is nice. I love doing groceries with if you have something to scare. And with the other food project that's also very important to me, and this is, for example, humanitarian work that always because it's usually also not a lot of not non-profit stuff that there, but it does gives me some space to grow and to develop. And I think also if in the creative field that's it's really for me it's very important. I also think it's a thing because otherwise you won't be the one trick pony. You do one thing and that's all you can do, but grow into it and become more than that and become greater than you were then last year. Project what I'm eventually want to do, hoping to grow, is focusing more on humanitarian work. Doing those. Do you remember those classic Life magazines?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Those social commentary about how about pretty much every subject, politics, mine workers, for example, back in the day, science, medical fields. I would love to do start an agency with a focus on humanitarian work, focus on people. Photography, and make the bridge with those humanitarian connections of, hey, these people also exist and new developments are happening in medical field. Because another very cool project I did is because the medical field project I did that you showed in the chat, that is now actually used for other surgeons to learn how they are doing it, what step by step learning. This is very interesting for me. So that's why, yeah. So that's why I thought, okay, I want to grow more into this. Use photography actually not just to please people, but also to use it to a tool also to help others.
So if someone came up to you and let's say they said, all right, Winish, I love photography. I want to get into it, but I just don't know how. What would your best advice be to give them?
Try to look in yourself of what ticks you, what is important to you. Not and I know with social media, with Instagram, with you see a lot, you get bombarded with a lot, but not everything is needed. Just try for you what really drives is try to find your core values. In my case, the humanitarian aspect of it. That's the thing that ticks me and keeps me going, keeps me get out of bed every morning. What would the point? Yeah, what would be something that ticks you that to make sure to go out of bed every morning? Because there is gear equipment. You can do a lot with your phone these days. It is insane. There are so many great software you can get online. With Adobe, you've also have online versions here and there. So that's not that should not stop you.
To learn more about tonight's guest, Winish Chedi, you check out his website at winishchedi.com, which I posted in the chat, or for those of you listening on demand, in the show notes. From there, you can follow his Instagram, his Facebook, his Behance, and more. Let me ask you, Winish, what would be your dream photography project?
Oh my, the big one, the big score.
Or who would you love to photograph?
Okay, here's a little bit thing about me. My background is from Suriname, and that was a former colony of the Netherlands in South America, and I have also Asian roots. So and it traces back to South Asia, particularly India. So my dream project would be then to make like a photo documentary about the immigration back. So where my parents came from. Back in South America, where maybe 200 years ago came by boat, and from there tracing back to Asia, and we're there in the original forest where we once came from. And I know which place it is actually. It's northeastern Himalaya, not far from Nepal. So my project that would be my dream project. But before I want to do that, I really want to be absolutely sure that I get my history lessons correct. So I'm looking for some. So at the moment, I'm looking for some anthropologists, yeah, and historians to help me and guide and document this of this immigration process. And this is a personal project of mine, of course, because this hits me. This is close to me. Yeah.
To those of you who are listening to this broadcast right now, and you have some help, some insight, some information that you can lend Winish, connect with him. Maybe someone listening to this broadcast right now is working on a similar project, and you guys can kind of link up. Well, we covered a lot of stuff, but There's one aspect of your photography that we didn't get into much. I always see you photographing musicians. How did you first connect with the music scene?
Again, I have that's exactly why I started my internship. From hey, I wanted to do at the newspaper or a magazine because it would be a very diverse work, and everywhere I went, I again, yeah, I shared my LinkedIn, I shared paper, my business card and all that stuff like that. And one time, this is really cool actually because I was asked as an assignment to photograph, make a portrait of two musicians, two drummers. Are you familiar with the band Golden Earring?
Golden Earring?
Yeah, it's they actually made a super hit song with Radar Love.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
It's because it's a 70s classic, oldie. It's oldies. Okay,
Okay.
well, one of the it was with those band, and they were it was back in 2018. Yeah, 2018. They were doing at the beach project about breaking a world record drumming, and I was asked to do from hey, they're doing it. Make a portrait and a poster because we have to show because we have to publish it for our upcoming edition. So I reach out to them, set up the whole thing, make the portrait and a poster, and it became something they absolutely love. And they said, "Van hey, this is really." I was about it. I was super nervous. I was super nervous because I looked up to them because I listened to their music, of course, because they are quite popular here. So I was super nervous, and I made something. They said, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's cool," and made something that they liked. And they said, "Hey, we're doing this big world record thing. Would you mind coming to the gig with us?" Super excited, and I did, and I photographed the whole process over there, and it was really amazing. I mean, obviously you have to bring earbuds with you because you'll be deaf because it's a world record drumming. And but they it really connect. They really with that, and with that actually that was the first ball that actually got rolling because then hey. And then I got this mention. Hey, I got this singer. I got this band. I got this. Can you do a press kit for us? Can you do this for us? You know, that's how things got rolling with the whole musicians because Netherlands is not like the United States. It's a bit smaller, so most people know each other here and there. So if the words go out here and there, yeah, they probably heard of you. So yeah. So that's actually kind of how I got in. Yeah, it's really funny because it was not my intention actually. It just happened. But those are the funny, yeah, great things you have to also like to I think embrace because they're also wonderful people, and I really love working with them because they also give me a lot of freedom to do, to work some ideas here and there, which and they also kind of, you know, on the spot here and there. So there won't be any pressure here and there. So that's the kind of work environment because and whatever happens comes out that day or yeah that night. That yeah that's what comes out, and it usually works because they're on their no, they are okay. No, they are not like, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that. No, the attention is off, and I'm also feel like, okay, we just see where it goes. We're kind of freestyling our way through it.
So Glow is asking, when people are asking you, can you make this or make that? At what point did you actually know how to make those? Or were you like saying in your mind, I don't know how to make it, but I have enough experience. I'm confident in it. And you could just basically fake it till you make it. Does that make sense to you?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Here's it.
Like if somebody comes to you with a project you don't know how to achieve, what do you do?
First, I ask a lot of questions of, hey, can you do this? And we have actually, make like a mood board or a frame of references, what they are looking for. And here's the thing, actually, because yeah, at photography school we learned so much about technical skills, and I'm very lucky to have those. So I'm, you can do it. But I'm not saying that I can do it, doing it. I'm just saying, from well, let's see. I just tell my subject, from hey, no, let's see what happens. So they are at ease. They don't feel like a pressure or anything. So they also feel more relaxed about it. But I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but I don't say. But I just don't say it. And so in the beginning, what I do, for example, I have like an hour or two to photograph them. In the first hour, I just do what I have to do. That's the spot on shots they can use. Okay, this is the portraits we need. This is the stuff we go. Okay, it's safe. It's safe. That is the safe part. So we got so everything's so they are pretty much good to go. I can edit this and I can send it. They are free to go. What I'm what I'm doing next then in the next hours, like I say them, yeah, okay, it's kind of good, but let's try this. Let's try that. Then we go. Let's go off books. Let's try this. Like, what happens if you do this? Let's go. Oh, this looks good. Let's go. What if you have go that way? So we freestyle our way through it. And if things are not working out, that's fine because I already in the first hour I already made the pictures that we need. So yeah, I still get paid, and I won't get any trouble doing it. That's the most. Yeah, I can still get happy customers. So voila. But with the second hour, with the whole, oh, you know what? Let's freestyle a little bit. Let's see what happens if we do this. Let's go off books. This okay. Let's try this, and then they are at ease. I'm also a bit. Well, of course, I'm at ease. I'm always at ease. um, but they are at ease. They are cool, and if they are cool, then you can do whatever you want, and then we just experiment. We said in the text in the chat, experiment, and just let's see what comes out. And usually, 9 out of 10 times, that's the one they take from the experiment phase, not the stuff they actually agreed upon in the beginning of. Well, this is what we want, but from hey, this is actually better. We actually like this more than our basic stock images style stuff because it has more personality to it, and that works really good for me, and that's how I get people activated to go a little bit out of the comfort zone, just on the edge, not over there.
We didn't get a chance to cover all of your work, but I encourage people go to Winish's website. From there, you can connect with him on social media. You can learn more about his creative work, his creative journey, what he's learned along the way. Don't be afraid to ask him questions, especially if you're just beginning in the field of photography. I'd like to thank Winish Chedi again for joining us tonight. He stayed up late all the way from the Netherlands. If you enjoyed this program, you can catch all the latest updates for the next Spotlight sessions and all the great content here in the Adobe Creative Career Discord by following the upcoming events at the top of the server so you can see what's coming at you next. Thanks so much for everyone who tuned in tonight. Thank you, Winish, for staying up. It's after midnight over there.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone who tuned in to listen to me, your host, Justin Bamforth, aka JBam. You can always find me on Discord, LinkedIn, or my website, justinbamforth.com. Until next time, everyone, take care.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
For more conversations with creative professionals, subscribe to the Spotlight Sessions podcast or check out the Adobe Creative Career Discord. Links are posted in the show notes, or visit adobediscord.com and click on Adobe Creative Career.